Well, welcome back to Greenhill Junction. So we're going to stay in this corner and hopefully get that upper area worked on and starting to look like a small industrial space. First job though is to fix that backboard. Now, I'll admit that was another cowboy attempt at doing it, or well, to be honest, it was a cost-saving measure, so I didn't do the frame completely properly, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's bone plus a bit of wood. That's probably a wee bit bent. So that's going to come off and get some more frame done, because basically I was running out of timber and I thought I can't be arsed buying any more timber, and well, I've ended up going out and buying timber to try and fix it. So first job first, get that off, get it reframed, and then I'll tell you what's going to be going on in that area there. Right, that's the board off, and you can see the cowboy effort. That was all the timber I had left, so I put a brace along the bottom. The two brackets were on there, and that was it. So, I mean, you can see there's a decent bow in the wood. And what I would usually do is have a strap all the way along there. On this sort of small board, I'd probably just have one there and then one there. Because of the bow, I'm going to extend that, one on either end and one in the middle. And then while the glue is setting, weigh it all down, probably in my toolbox or something like that. And hopefully that takes care of the bow. And if it doesn't, I'll figure out something else. Right, there's a finished frame. Sturdier, and when I lift it up, it's certainly straighter. Maybe bows slightly backwards towards the frame now, but it can only be better where it was. And the dog's even coming in to inspect the work. So I'll get that back on, and we'll go back to the corner. That's that back scene reinstalled, and it's better there. Reasonably level, but we've got a big gap in that corner now, and that'll be because of that gap there. So you can see that gets wider as it goes towards the bottom, and that gets wider as it goes towards the top. So yeah, kind of doing about that now. So I'll probably just end up putting a bit of black paper behind that gap, just like I did there, just to cover it up a wee bit. Ultimately, with the plan for this corner, that could probably get covered up with some of the stuff that's going in. So anyway, that's that job done. Right, so this corner, it's going to be an industrial scene, and pretty much just need to build it up from the bare board. So first things first is I'm going to put a cobbled base down, cobbled paving down. This stuff's just, it's textured wallpaper that someone's managed to print a cobbled pattern on the other side. I got it off eBay ages ago, and I used it in the Courtyard video when I did that a wee while ago. So I'll be about 3 sheets going down there. Yeah, it doesn't look very realistic there, but if I take it over to the Courtyard, try not to move too fast. Once I did a bit of painting, dry brushing and all that, I'll need to watch the video myself to remember what I did here. It actually looks quite effective. So I'm going to use that again because I've got it. So I might as well use it. And then there'll be fencing going round there. In hindsight, it would have been quite interesting or a feature to have a point coming off there and a bit of railway going in. Any day it wouldn't be very functional because, well, that yard there is only, if I put another sheet A4 down, you know, it's 2 A4 sheets long, so you wouldn't get a very big train in there. So it'd be more just for display. And given that that's the second version of the upper level, I'm not ripping it all up again just to put a point and a display siding in. Building wise, I'll take this away, I'll show you my scribbles. So I should be able to fit 3 buildings in. So they're all Metcalfe buildings because I like them. They're cheap and they're really quite detailed and they're fun to build. So that should be the factory entrance. It says no water tower, however the water tower will probably cover that gap So this plan may change, and I just hope that these 3 buildings still fit in. There's the old workshop going in there and a warehouse going in there, and then that bit will just be, I don't know, like a truck yard, because that building, the factory entrance, has an archway, so that could be the in and out bit. Apart from that, we'll get all that filled in, that brown stuff at the back of the upper level. That'll take half an hour or something like that, a bit of sticking in scenery stuff. Might get it charging on through this, so I've already kind of measured it out. I need to build myself another wall and another couple of pillars, and then the wall will go up. Now, I was going to use the red version of the Metcalfe walling that I've got the grey version in the station, that stuff there. But I'm a bit concerned it's going to be a bit samey either side. I can't get an embankment in there because it's really quite steep. So I just end up with all the same problems I had back doing the tight corner. So what I'm thinking is, if I build a wall to just above the height of the carriages, and then I could have a small embankment, a much shallower embankment coming down, and then that would give me a chance to do some greenery, some bushes and all that, make it a little bit more interesting. So if I can get all this done, that'd be awesome. But the yard and the brown bit at the back are probably the main targets for this video. And aye, so I'll get cracked on and get some stuff done, come back when there's something to show you. Okay, a wee bit of progress has been made. I've dirtied up that surface. All I did was dry brush acrylic black and acrylic brown paint, the hobbycraft stuff, onto it, just to give it a grimy appearance. I didn't want to get rid of all the red, so I've not done it too heavy, so I think that looks pretty decent. And once the buildings are on it and all that, it'll probably look a bit more in place. Got some fencing to go round. I was considering walling it, but that's curved and I just can't be bothered trying to build a curved wall. So I got the scale model scenery wrought iron railings, because I thought that would be the sort of thing that would go around the industrial area. And then I thought, oh, why don't I put that on top of a wall? And then remembered that I don't want to build a curved wall. So it's quite a decent rekit. You can see there's actually, well, if a shine doesn't, you can see there's actually wee points on top of all the I don't know what it's called, the fence. So that'll probably look quite good. I'm just going to paint it black, and I've got this random tub of what looks like reasonably matte black because I don't want it to be shiny. So I'll use that and just run that all the way along the railway and then all the way down there. And of course, one packet does 60 centimetres and I needed 75, so I had to buy 2 packets. The joys. Slight delay on this bit because I was going to do that right now, and I've pulled out my static grass applicator and one of the wires is loose. So I need to fix that because it's a proper Pico one, and I think it was about 80 quid, and I'm certainly not chucking it out and getting another one where I could just fix the wire. So that's on the more urgent to-do list, and the buildings are coming. So yeah, fence in first, build some buildings, fix a static grass applicator, and see where we get on for there. Thought I'd keep you up to date with just a little bits of progress, because the scene changes quite a bit with just little things that go in. So that's the fence painted and put in. I painted it black, and then I found a random colour in my collection of acrylic paints. It was called burnt sienna, which to me new is rusty brown. So I dry brushed the fence using that to try and get a bit of rust shown on it. It's kind of visible in some places and not in others. It's a bit more visible there. It depends how the light hits it, because this is quite a dark corner. So that's been put all the way around. Once the fence went in, I just started like filling in gaps with bushes and scatters and things like that on both sides of the fence to make it look also like it's not just been put in. So that's turned out pretty effective. And I'm glad I got that fence. It does look quite industrial. maybe a bit too modern for a steam layout. I don't know, but it's better than just having a wooden fence, I think. And the static grass applicator got fixed via several burns in my fingers because of course it's tiny little wires to try and solder on. So that bit down there has been completed. To be quite honest, I can't remember where it ended, probably somewhere there. So I just got a real basic static grass and then some bushes put on. So it's now the sort of the whole back, in fact, is now joined up, which is nice. Down front here, I realised that I've not actually ballasted these tracks, and I can't be bothered by ballasting. It's a job I hate. So really, all I need to do now is build these three buildings, which will take me a wee bit because Metcalfe buildings are reasonably detailed, and it's not a bash it together in 10 minutes. Get them on there, and and that'll certainly finish the start of the industrial scene if you follow. But I'll need to get some trucks in there or some sort of industrial rubbish and things like that lying about. But yeah, coming on well. So I guess we'll come back once the buildings are in place. Okay, what a difference buildings and a few vehicles make. So a few weeks down the line, and this will finish off this video here. So got a nice wee industrial scene going on. The three Metcalfe buildings, the factory entrance, which is all that including the boiler house, the warehouse, and I think it's called a ramshackle workshop. But I love these wee models, they're really reasonable. I think each one was between £12 and £16. There's certainly nothing over £20. They're really detailed, they're really easy to put together with a bit of PVA glue, and they're absolutely solid as well, which is good. And then I went to Oxford Diecast and treated myself to 3 wee trucks just to busy up the scene a little bit. The warehouse in particular, the pack says that you can have a low relief or basically a full relief warehouse. I'm going to call that a medium relief warehouse because actually it's meant to be another third wider. So you build the two solid thirds and then you build basically two sides to extend it out to the full width. And if you're doing low relief, then that would be one side of the warehouse and that would be the other side of the warehouse. I was quite tight for space, and then when I built those two solid bits I was like, well, sure, I can just stick them together, and I did, and it worked out absolutely perfect in that space. So yeah, I can't decide. I probably need to bed these buildings in a wee bit by putting some just kind of greenery around the bottom and things like that. And I saw Oxford Diecast, they also do like pallet loads of stuff like this, pallet loads of spam and things like that, so I thought that would look quite good, so I might get that next month when I get paid. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to add to this. I mean, if any of yous feel like it needs something, please suggest it in the comments, but I quite like it the way it is, and if you look, it's a nice wee scenic corner. I mean, yeah, I've not covered up that gap with the chimney, just the way things fitted in, but hey ho. It's nice to look at. So so that's my wee industrial corner done to a certain extent. Get some running shots going by it. I've only got the two upper lines running just now because I've kind of moved on and started ballasting, so the lower lines are out of order now. But we'll run some trains by just so you get some views. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think. Leave any comments of things you think I could add to make the scene look a wee bit better. Give us a like and a follow and a share and all that jazz. And you'll see what's going on in the layout over the winter in the next few videos. Alright, so speak to you again soon. Cheers.